This week on Maker Update, Cyberpunk Samurai, rolling your own tape echo, sound reactive lighting, all the filaments, and a closer look at salt batteries. Hey, I'm Donald Bell, and welcome back to another episode of Maker Update, where each week we round up some of the coolest maker projects on the internet. So if you're ready to get inspired, let's get started with a project of the week. At the intersection of cosplay and product design, you'll find VALiMA's Railblade 2.0. This is an original design loosely based on a weapon from Metal Gear Rising with a dash of Gundam thrown in. Essentially though, he's designing incredibly detailed props for a sci-fi universe that's entirely in his own imagination. So this ring of neopixels that spins up when he presses a button, to him, that's an energy reactor that powers up the servo-actuated antennas that jam the enemy's signals and launches cyber attacks on their equipment. It's all pretend, but I love how adding these backstory elements to the design makes it all feel a little more grounded in an alternate reality. I mean, it's enough that it looks awesome and it blinks and moves, but I'm equally envious that he got to sit down and think through the imaginary practicalities of why things are there. Speaking of practicalities, there's a ton of great design ideas packed into this project. There's the cavities he's built in to neatly mount the ESP32 board and some breakouts for lights and servo control. There's the use of 3.5mm mini jack audio sockets to route power and data lines externally using cables. Not only does this give you some modularity and extensibility for adding things later, but it just looks super cool. It also looks like some of these jacks really just act as dressed up holes for passing through cables, which looks cooler than it should. Then there's the layering of the 3D printed design. We see this in a lot of Cyberdeck builds too. By having a core framework separate from the decorative or panel layer, not only do you have an opportunity for using different colors and adding a geometric pattern and texture to the exterior, but you have an excuse to use more screws and rivets to attach everything. For something like this, the more visible screws, the more convincing it looks. A skin of panels like this also means you can cover up a lot of the telltale 3D printed layer lines on the frame, especially if you face the textured print bed side out. You get more of that factory-made look. Finally, so much of this is helped by 2 lengths of aluminum extrusion in the scabbard. Aside from the sword, everything gets bolted down to this. These help to keep everything rigid, but also save a ton of printing and gluing because you're not asking for strength from the plastic. You're leaning on the aluminum instead. Anyway, it's great. I could talk about it all day. You can find a link to VALiMA's video in the description, along with a link to version 1.0 from last year that actually gets into the original concept more than the latest video. More projects. On his channel, Mark Gutierrez shows how he made this analog audio tape delay effect using scrap parts and cheap portable cassette players. This is one of those projects that for most of us is probably more about the journey than the destination. I'm fascinated by old magnetic tape technology and the mechanisms found inside tape decks and how it can all be repurposed. Do I really need a delicate lo-fi tape delay? Probably not. But I definitely enjoyed watching Mark put this together, and I think you will too. For another project about transforming audio, check out Erin St. Blaine's latest guide on Adafruit. She shows how to create these sound reactive paper lanterns that do way more than just uniformly flash to music. Like a lot of her recent work, she's using an Adafruit Feather ESP32 board here, flashed with the WLED software. This gives you a no-code interface for customizing your LED colors and patterns. But the secret sauce for this particular project is a free bit of open source computer software called LedFx. The software is specifically engineered for driving sophisticated, frequency-dependent LED animations from audio. Both the WLED and LedFx interfaces have presets for integrating with each other, so setup looks really straightforward. Nevertheless, Erin's guide does a fantastic job of stepping you through both the hardware and software requirements to get a project like this up and running. Now for some tips and tools. Do you ever wonder if there's a better 3D printing filament you should be using? Well, to help you answer this question and hopefully steer you away from some disastrous options, Zack Freedman ranks every practical category of filament in a video that stretches 44 minutes long. That sounds like a lot, but if you know Zack's style, it's a fast-paced, thoroughly entertaining ride through the world of 3D printing, and in the end, you really do get a solid list of practical filament options with plenty of surprises, which I won't give away here. Another great list comes from Essential Craftsman, who offers up 5 steel fabrication tools he wishes he'd bought sooner. If metal fabrication is your jam, you're bound to find at least one item here to add to your arsenal. Marking tools, holding tools, cutting tools, there's a little bit of everything here, along with some useful tips. On his channel, GreatScott takes a look at sodium-ion batteries, a promising lithium-free alternative to today's battery formulas, which are arguably problematic and unsustainable for a lot of reasons. But a rechargeable battery technology based on something as abundant and inexpensive as salt seems almost too good to be true. It's still early days for this technology and there are some notable trade-offs, but it looks like sodium-ion batteries have arrived. So check out the video for all the details on discharge rates, amp hours, cycles, and more. Finally, have you ever seen Japanese wood crafts that are finished in what looks like a hammered or notched pattern? The technique is called Naguri, and it's traditionally done using a carving gouge and a lot of patience. But in a video demonstration, woodworker Takura Sino shows how a similar effect can be achieved using a router, a bowl bit, and a creative jig that rocks the router back and forth. In the video, we get to see every step of how the jig was made, but he also sells the jig directly if you want to support a fellow maker and jump right into carving Naguri patterns. For this week's DigiKey Spotlight, did you know that DigiKey has a whole other channel just dedicated to showing off new products? Not only will you get to see unboxings and demos for a mix of professional, industrial, and hobbyist products, but there's also a great collection of tips. I think you'll like it. All right, and that does it for this week's show. Be sure to subscribe, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment. Big thanks to DigiKey for making this show possible, and thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.